Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. Joseph James, schooltrade.com. July 30th, our last trading day of the month of July. Kind of a sad day, guys. We're now about halfway through our month of our summertime months. Of course, a little bit sad because, of course, nobody wants the summertime to end, and we are making a killing here in the month of July. So I really don't want this month to end either. So last day of the month here, July 30th, 2010. We had another big winning day in the room today. Before we talk about those trades we took today, though, guys, I want to remind you guys, use this blog to your full advantage, guys. There's so much important information on the blog. Search the blog, of course, up top. Any key search terms there you want to look for. There's live support at all times, 24/7 live support. We've got your Facebook, your YouTube. Don't forget, there are videos on YouTube that are not posted on our blog, so check out the YouTube page. And then below the social media there at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a follow me button. And then right below that is our newsletter sign up. Now, guys, very important. Today we called 2 live trades on the blog. Very important you guys are following this blog. That way you can always have the most up-to-date information. Now, if you can't follow the blog, right, all you got to do is click on that button, follow the blog. If you can't click on it, if you can't follow the blog, sign up for the newsletter. That way you get all the new stuff that we send out as part of our newsletter. All right, guys? Keep working hard. Use the blog, though. Great stuff in the blog. We only took 4 trades today? That's right. Pretty quiet day today. Summertime Friday, end of the month. But guys, we put ourselves in a great position. We had sat down this morning for a half an hour this morning, and we're up 90 ticks already on crude. So we got ourselves in a really good position right off the bat. And then, of course, that really kind of took all the pressure off us to now wait for the perfect patterns that we saw come up on crude and the Russell today. So 194 ticks, 1940, of course, right, total. That brings our weekly total, guys, to $11,000 this week. We made $11,000 this week in the live trade room. That brings our monthly total to $33,500. So, guys, you can see here, only one day this week, less than 100 ticks, right? And that was Monday, and we missed it by 5 ticks. So it's been a busy month. End of the month. We'll start with August. August 2nd is the first day of trading next week, so we'll be here for that. So, guys, you can see here, great day, great week, great month of July. Now, what was the most important thing that happened today? Well, of course, Fridays in the summertime Fridays are always expected to be slow. July and August, expect them to be slow. So in the summertime, we're watching for volume as a concern, okay, but on a Friday, it's even more concerning. So we're concerned about volume, and we're also going to keep it on the clock today because we know we're going to have an early close in the morning. Now, gold had very low volume. We kind of had this weird thing going on gold right now. We've got the volume on gold on the 1210 contract is considerably higher than everything else. And the rumor around the trading floor today was that people were so concerned about the GDP number that came out this morning that they were piling up their stockpiles of gold, right? Not on the current front month of 810, not on the 1010 front month, but on the 1210 front month. Okay, so we were kind of waiting to see how that was going to play out today. And it really left gold with just very low volume. And really, I think a lot of the traders were pretty surprised by it. And I think a lot of them just kind of sat on their hands today and waited to see what's going to happen. We were included in that, right? We did not trade gold today at all because it wasn't going anywhere. Now, the crude market, right? Crude oil gave us a great wedge pattern. We used the crude oil to make money today. We used the Russell wedge pattern as well to make money today. And these wedge patterns in the summertime have been treating us very well. And of course, we followed our rules for the biggest month of the year, over $30,000 this month. And of course, over $11,000 this week, right? So it's been a huge week in the room. And of course, once again, what makes us so proud of our results this time is we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. We're following our rules. We're treating this summertime trading with, the respect it deserves. We have to be careful out there, so we don't want to be over trading right now. But the one thing we learned about summertime trading earlier on this month was that with slower volume, with lower volume environments, we're going to stay away from the scalps, and we're going to move towards the 13, 21, 30-minute hourly charts and look for more broader patterns. All right, now, of course, here's what we saw on crude this morning. This is a real easy pattern to see, right? It's a wedge pattern. So now, knowing, of course, what a wedge pattern is, we're going to, of course, sell the highs, buy the lows. We can also trade the breakout, right? So I can trade a breakout here of the wedge as well. Now, the key here is, guys, avoid the middle of the wedge, right? Trade short the high, buy the low, right? Sell the breakout, buy the breakout. All right, guys, that's going to be my basic, kind of rule of thumb here for trading a wedge. So that was the first thing we saw here on the crude this morning. We also saw a channel on crude as well. And of course, Wim, one of our members this morning, pointed this out to us. And I wanted to show you guys this real quick here because it's a good example. Here's the channel. Right now, here's your channel high, and there's your channel low. Okay, everybody see that? So you got channel high, you've got channel low. All right, so now inside of that channel, I'm going to treat the channel just like I treat a wedge pattern. Right? I'm going to look to buy the lows and sell the highs. All right, guys? So inside of a channel here, once again, right, I'll come down, I'll look to buy the lows of the channel, and I'll look to then up top sell the highs of the channel. All right, now a channel can go either up, down. If it was sideways, it'd be called the sideways market. But in this particular example here, I wanted to show you guys just how we can use channels almost the exact same way as we use a wedge. So here we are now at the top of this channel, and of course we come up, we bounce off resistance, mark up our swing low, right, and then break below that swing low. That's your two-step pattern short. Again, selling the high of this channel. All right, now I didn't take that trade this morning, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of how we can use the channel pattern here. All right, and we'll keep going here on crude. Another example here. Okay, so we just saw the channel pattern. Now here's a great example. On the left side here, here's my 13 range. Now before you look at the right side, on the left side here, tell me what you would do here. What would you do right here? All right, get a breaker pattern short, right? Breaker pattern short. And so, of course, we come down and mark our swing low. And I'm getting ready to take a short trade here below that 83 level. All right, now I have enough room, right? 71, I have enough room. All right, but this is a 13 range chart, slower time frame. Okay, let's look at a bigger picture, though. Follow me over here to the right. Now, on the right side of your screen, this is my 34 range chart. Much slower, right? Almost twice as slow. This is like comparing a 3-minute chart, right, to a 10-minute chart. Right, very different. Okay, the 13 range is like a 3-minute. Okay, the 34 range is more like a 10-minute. Okay, now what do we see now? Okay, I see wedge high, I see wedge low. All right, but zoom in for me though here. Where are we right now? What would you classify that as? I'm at the low. Right here, I am at the low of this wedge. So on my 34 range chart, I notice right away, right, at the low of my range. I'm at the low of the wedge. But over on my 13 range chart, I'm trying to sell for a breaker pattern short. So what I did was I skipped that trade, and it ended up being a great idea too, because what happened was it ended up bouncing. So for the breaker pattern short, okay, we could take the breaker pattern short here, all right, but I'm selling these lows. And what happened was it actually ended up reversing and going right back up. And you can see here in the 34 range, right, the idea here is at the low of this wedge, I do not want to be selling here. I want to be buying, right, because it's going to head right back up and hit the top of that wedge. All right, so what did I learn here? The lesson I learned here is use your slower time frames. Look at your slower time frames. Are you at the bottom of your wedge when you're looking for a short trade? If you are, that's going to be a higher risk trade. All right, now let's go back real quick on crude. Real quick, here's that wedge pattern. Now look at the numbers here. Where's my numbers here on crude? I've got 78, right? 78.24, right? And then 77 even. Okay, 78.24 and 77 even. So let's keep an eye on 78, right? And 77. And that, of course, will be where we'll look to take our trades today. Okay, because we're going to look to buy the breakout, right? Or sell the breakout, or sell the highs and buy the lows. Okay, so now based upon that wedge pattern, let's take a look at our first of the day here. Now, we had sat down literally for 20 minutes this morning when our first trade shows up. I had just finished talking about how we weren't expecting to see very much today because of a summertime Friday, and then all of a sudden, here we are. Okay, now the first trade of the morning here was on crude. We went crude, then the Russell, then back to crude. Now this one, as you can see here, is 840, right? We have not seen a move like this before 9:15 in the summertime trading in over a month. So 840, we love to see this, right? This was kind of, once we saw this happen, we really knew then today could be a monstrous day. So of course, here I have a wedge pattern, right? There's my wedge high, there's my wedge low. And so of course, here we are, we come down, we